this exercise series. My name is Shane Lee and I'm the trainer who will be guiding you through the next 6 weeks of exercise. These exercise classes are designed for people with pulmonary fibrosis. The first 3 sessions will be like an introduction to exercise, while the next 3 sessions will be more challenging. So 6 weeks of exercise with each session becoming progressively harder. The key things to have for these sessions: we'll have a good, strong, sturdy chair that we can use. We'll always have a bottle of water available. A nice, clear, safe space that we can work out in. And I'll always have a window open, just allowing some air to come in. During this series, we will also use weights. If you don't have any weight, you can use bottles, tins, anything that can give you a little bit of extra weight. So let's get started with our first exercise video. So let's begin our first session. To begin, I'm going to guide us through a warm-up in a seated position. Sit nice and tall in your chair, and let's begin with our shoulders. Just going to slowly roll those shoulders back, just looking to get as much movement as I comfortably can here. So just slowly rolling those shoulders back, and then changing direction, bringing the shoulders forward in circles. From here, I will bring arms across my chest. I will pull back nice and wide, and I will return the arms back in. Open the arms out wide, return back in. And let's continue on, just opening out that chest. Nice little squeeze between the shoulder blades, and just opening out. Very important, we warm up at the beginning of every session. We'll gradually bring our heart rate up, preparing ourselves for more challenging work ahead. I'll just warm up all those joints and just loosen everything out before we begin with those harder exercises. Next, what I want to do is straighten my arms out, pull back low in towards my stomach, and then relax the arms out. So pull back, relax out. So just continuing with that nice, smooth rowing action. Pull back, relax the arms out. So just continuing with that nice, smooth rowing action. Okay, I'm just going to go for another 5 times. 4, 3, 2, 1. Into a little rotation next. If I fold the arms out in front, I will slowly turn my body to the right, and then I will slowly turn my body to the left. So just moving to the right and left. Taking my time as I move between each position, just slowly opening up the body. As you'll see as we go throughout these exercises, the main thing will be to work at your own pace. There will be no pressure with any movement. Any point you feel breathless or that the movement is becoming a little bit difficult, I'll ask that you just stop, rest and return when you feel ready. Hands resting on my legs next. I just want to stretch those hands down towards feet and then straight back up. So just moving lightly through the movement. I'm never rushing through any movement, and that really is important. All of the work will be done at your own pace. Just lightly stretching down, hands towards feet, and just straightening the body back up. Working in a range that feels comfortable. Going 3 more times. 2 and 1. Okay. Moving into the lower limbs next, we're just going to start off lightly extending the legs out, 1 at a time. Just going to switch those legs on, just start opening up in that position. And just continuing with the movement. The key thing with the warm-up is just that we keep the body moving. We're active, we're physically warming that body up, preparing for those harder actions as we go along. Okay, just continuing, maybe twice more on each leg. So we'll go 2 and 1. Bringing it from that position straight into a march, just reset, make sure you're comfortable. Hold on to the sides of the chair if you like here. Just go at a nice comfortable pace. Again, I never need to rush with any of these movements. Okay, and just going for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From this position, open the right leg to the sides, and then with the left. So I'm just going to step out, opening up through the hip on each side. So just that right leg and left leg, slowly opening out to the sides, right and then left. Okay, and just continuing for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From this position, I want to move down to my feet. I'll walk the feet back a little bit, and I'll just begin with that action of elevating the heels. So just lifting the heels up off the floor. Good strong lift, bringing the heels up, just opening up through the feet and getting movement through the ankles here. So just lightly lifting those heels up and down. And then just walking those feet slightly forward, and now elevating the toes. So the opposite action, lifting your toes up off the floor. And just continuing on with that movement, lifting the toes up. And I'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That concludes our warm-up. What I'm going to do now is bring us into our first block of work, our aerobic work. For this movement block, I will work in a standing position. So I'll just move my chair to the side. The work can be done in a seated position, but I'm going to lead all of this standing. Key now as we move into our first block of work is to remember, work at your own pace. There's no pressure with any of the movement. If at any point you feel a little bit breathless, slow it down, take a rest. And that is really the key from start to finish. So at any point that you feel you need to take a little break, simply to pause, take that rest, and then resume when you feel ready to do so. So I'm going to put my timer on. I'm going to introduce 3 movements. We'll perform each movement for about 45 seconds. We'll have a couple of seconds in between to set up. And then we will repeat that action 3 times. So a circuit format 3 times. Movement is the goal here. So I'm going to put my timer on and let's get started. For the first movement, what I want to do, you can have your chair in front if you need for comfort, but I just want to give a nice clear view to the camera here. So my action will be to begin lightly curling my heels behind, 1 at a time. Again, very important, I start off at a comfortable pace. I do not want to rush here and become tired very quickly. Start at a comfortable pace. If it feels very light, very easy as you go, you can gradually start to work a little bit harder through this one. If it feels quite tough, slow the pace of the movement down. Just lightly bringing heel towards bum. But in this first round in particular, just feeling the movements out, seeing how they feel to you. Just lightly curling those heels behind. And rest, okay. For my next movement, what I want to do is take a side step. So I will step to the right, step to the left. So let's move straight in. Small step to the right, central, small step to the left. So I'm just going to move lightly between the 2 positions. As I said on that first movement, we're just really exploring the movements on this first round, see what feels comfortable, what kind of pace is comfortable. A good indication is I can still talk as I perform the movement. If I was completely breathless and unable to talk in a full sentence, that would be a sign that I am pushing too hard. So I'll just continue at a pace that's comfortable, moving side to side. And return. Okay, for your final movement, I want to march on the spot, bringing the arms in if that feels comfortable. So just simply to march. Again, set a pace that's comfortable for you. If I go really fast, I might become breathless. I might run out of power here rather quickly. If I control the pace, that's good for me, where I feel a good challenge, but I'm in control of everything, that will be perfect. So let's just continue to march, slowing the pace down a few. Moving with a little bit more power if it feels very easy. They are the 3 movements. We will just continue seamlessly into our next round in a couple seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay, first round finished. Let's return back to the start with our heel towards bum. So let's go straight in. Heel back, just lightly moving. Heel towards bum here. Again, I have a feel of the movements after that first round. Ask yourself, was it easy? Was it hard? Do I need to slow the pace down? Or am I okay at the pace I'm at? Or if it felt very easy, you might gradually start to build up with a little bit more power in the movements. So I'm just working at a pace that's good to me, lightly curling the heel back. Air in, air out, just breathing comfortably throughout, never holding that breath during any movements. And 3, 2, 1. Okay, we will set up, moving into our side step again. It's just nice and upright. I'll step to the right, and then I'll step to the left. So just moving side to side, nice and comfortable, side to side. Again, is this pace hard? Is it easy? Finding that pace that's comfortable to you. Continuing movement, so we're working the lungs just through movement here. Moving seamlessly from one motion to the next. Okay, and about 10 seconds just to finish out. We'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and return. Third action again, our march. So let's begin straight in, marching on the spot. Again, you can bring the arms lightly into the movement. If you prefer not to work with the arms, that's okay. Setting a pace that's comfortable to you, not so fast that I'm running out of power here. But equally, I do welcome a challenge that I feel I'm active and I feel I'm working in the position. Just continuing, slowing down at any point you need, pausing if feeling breathless and that you need to rest. Working for about 10 seconds. We'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 rounds finished. 1/3 final round. If everything feels comfortable, continuing on. Pausing if you feel you need a little break. So let's go back to our first movement. Lightly curling the heels back. Heel towards bum. So our third and final round of our aerobic circuit here. And again, really key, as I'll continue to repeat here, is just that you work at your own pace. Get a feel for the movements and what pace is right for you, whether you need to slow the pace down a little bit, pause at any point you need, or continuing if everything is feeling good. Working for about 10 seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hand back in. So again, side to side next. So my side stepping. I will step to the right and step to the left. So we're just keeping ourselves moving, active, aerobic here. So we're gradually just building up that little bit of endurance in the lungs, keeping our body moving for a good block of time here. And continuing for about 10 seconds. And we'll time it down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, one final exercise. Whether it's the first, the last in your block of work, if you need a breather, you take that break. Otherwise, let's continue marching on the spot. Just to finish out this aerobic circuit of work. I bring my arms into the movements and I march at a pace that is comfortable. Not so fast, I feel in any way breathless or uncomfortable, but at a pace where I feel challenged, which I'm comfortable working out at. Okay, I'm working for the last 10 seconds. And finishing out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And rest down. So, really important now. Might just turn my chair here. If you want to rest against the back of your chair, take a little bit of pressure off the lungs here. Take up a seated position if you prefer. But purely rest, recovery, take a sip of water at this point. So just catching that breath. Inhale. Slowly exhale out the mouth. Just taking a couple of seconds rest here. Inhale. Slowly exhale. One more time. Okay, so we're going to move next into our strength block of work. So just to explain the format, with our strength block of work, we'll pick 4 or 5 movements. We'll perform 2 sets of every exercise and 8 repetitions. So what I want with our strength work, this is an introduction to strength work. Get a feel for the movements. We just want to perform a couple of repetitions really well and really get to understand some of the movements that we're performing and really just connect with the body. We will use our chair for all of these exercises. We'll have it available for support and we'll also have our weights ready as well. So the first movement that I want to lead with today is a sit-stand. So all I want you to do is take up your seated position. Good strong chair. You see I have it placed against my wall, so this chair will not move. I'll sit slightly forward, my feet shoulder width, nice and upright. You can either place your hands to the side of the chair if you require for support, or, as I will demonstrate, I bring my arms across my chest and just elevate the elbows. So, whichever position you choose, we will now perform 8 sit-to-stands. The key is we work at a comfortable pace. We do not want to rush this movement. And again, at any point, if you feel breathless, I want you to pause, rest, and then resume when you feel ready. So, let's begin. Feet strong to the floor. Nice and upright, hand side of chair or arms folded and in front. Let's begin. I will lean forward, standing up tall for 1 repetition. I will move my hips down and back into the chair and reset. That's 1 full repetition complete. I will go again, standing up tall, pushing hips back and down, sitting into the chair for 2. I want you to continue at this nice, comfortable pace. At no point rushing through the movement. I'll continue on for number 4 here. Moving down and back, fully returning to the chair. Into my 5th repetition, standing up tall. Little pause at the top position. Return back to the seated position. Every time, just keeping that nice control, never rushing through the movements. We'll just complete our final 2 repetitions here, leaning forward, standing up tall, returning back down to your seat. 1 final repetition here, standing up tall from that seated position, little pause at the top, return back to the seated position, and rest. Okay? Take a couple of seconds, take a sip of water, catch your breath. We're working the legs very hard in that position. It's a strong, powerful movement. Requires a lot of energy from the body, so really important you just continue at that nice, comfortable pace. So let's return with a 2nd round of that movement. Again, keeping those feet about shoulder width, nice and upright. If you want your hands on the side of the chair for a little push, a little support, or as I go with, arms across chest, elbows raised. And let's begin. I'll stand up nice and tall. Return back to the seat. I initiate that power as I stand up, so I'll exhale. Inhale as I return to the seated position. Stand up. Inhale as we return. Continuing on into our 4th repetition here. Down. I'm always thinking of those knees staying in line with my toes and keeping my back nice and straight throughout the movement. So I'm never rounding or bending that back as I stand. Perform 2 final repetitions here. Standing up tall, hips come forward, hips move down and back into the seated position. 1 final time, standing up tall. Pausing in the standing position, returning back to the chair, and rest. So that is our first movement, our sit to stand, just working on the legs. We'll work on our shoulders next with an upper body movement. So I'm going to take my 2 weights for this next exercise, and I'm just going to move my chair just out of the way. Okay, so we have our 2 weights. You can use tins, you can use bottles, anything that gives you a little bit of resistance. The way I will perform this, I grasp the weight with my 2 hands. My arms are straight, and I want to raise the weight to about shoulder height. So let's begin. Straight arms, raise in front, shoulder height. Little pause, slowly return the weights back down. Raise the weight out. Pause, slowly back down. Control the weight all the time. We never swing the weight. Just a nice smooth raise, shoulder height, no higher. Slowly back down. Thinking about exhale as you raise. Inhale as you lower the weight back down. So we initiate that power as we raise. Inhale as we lower the weight back down. Performing 1 more repetition. And back down. Okay, you can rest the weights down in between if you like, just take a couple of seconds. We're really working the shoulders with that movement. And again, the key is we just go with as much control as we can. We don't swing the weight. We can have a little pause at the top and slowly lower the weight back down. So if that feels okay, let's perform a 2nd round. If that was very tough, you can work 1 arm at a time and alternate the movements. So again, my arms are straight, grasping the weight, and let's begin. Raise in front, lower back down, refueling with air. Keeping the arms nice and straight. Always controlling that weight. We never swing the weight up and down. My back stays nice and straight. There's no arch, there's no momentum from the rest of my body here. So we performed 3 more to finish. Breathing out as you raise up. Breathing in as you lower down. And back down. I will now rest my weights down. Okay, for my next exercise, I'm going to just stand myself behind the chair. So I'm just going to place this chair out in front. What you want to do is just line up behind your chair, rest your hands down, nice and upright, and this will be a hip movement. So what I want to do is lift my right leg to the side, pause, and then return back in. Just working through the right leg, with your toes pointed directly ahead. And that nice pause every time. And just slowly returning the leg back in. So moving through the hip every time. Just going to go 3 more times. Keeping that body nice and upright as I continue. And in. Just going to move straight into that left side, that same action. Keep the body nice and straight. Lift the leg to side, return back in. Keeping your toes pointed directly ahead. Opening the leg without leaning that body to the side. And I'm going to feel the hip here. I just want to keep a nice control as I finish out my last 3 times here. And once more, and return. Might just shake those legs out. Might just feel a little bit of a burn around the hips on this one. So just reset, shake the legs out, and let's repeat a second time. Setting up again, holding on to the back of that chair. Lift the right leg out, pause, return back in. So every time, going with that nice control, just that we don't swing the leg. Or pause, slowly back down as I perform the 4th time. And then just 4 more. Lift out, pause, slowly back in. And 3. And 2. And 1 more. Excellent. Switch sides over to the left. And my toes straight ahead. My body is tall. And I lift the leg out. As far as I can without losing control of the position, return back in. Lift out, pause, return back in. So continue on, feeling that nice connection with your hip. As I perform my 4th, and that leaves me with 4 to go. Continuing at that same nice control. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, just bringing my chair out of the way. Moving into our arm curl, so I'll take my 2 weights next. Okay, so the way we will perform this one, I want you to grasp your 2 weights. Just place the elbows resting on the front of your body, or just to the side here, that they're in a fixed position where they won't move. Grasp the 2 weights, curl up in a nice straight line towards your shoulders. Slowly lower back down. Curl up, a little squeeze, connection in the arms. Slowly back down. Exhale as we curl up, that's the action. Inhale as we return the weights down. 4 to finish out. Keeping that nice control. Again, that I don't swing the weights. That I have control right throughout. Finishing my last 2 and 1 more, and back down. I will just rest the weights down, take a couple of seconds, catch your breath, really working the arms with that one, so an upper body movement. We'll perform a 2nd round, and again just looking to get as much connection with your arms as we can on this one. So let's grasp the 2 weights again. Elbows just resting ever so slightly in front or to the side of your body here. Let's curl the weights up, that nice straight line. Slowly lower back down. Curl up, squeeze, slowly lower back down. So that nice smooth line up and down, getting as much connection with the arms as we can here. 4 more to finish. And 3 more. And 2 more. And once more. Rest the weight down. So, that's our strength work completed. Final action now is just to cool down after that harder block of work. So when you sit back into your chair nice and comfortable, and we'll go through a couple of stretches just to relax the body down. First exercise, what I want to do is straighten my right leg out. I want to point the toes forward and away from my body. Hold that position. I will then pull the toes back towards myself, stretching out the calf to the back of that lower leg. Swap between the positions again. Toes forward and away from my body. Toes pulled back towards myself. Once more. Toes pointed forward and away. Toes pulled back. And rest. Left leg, that same action. We're going to point the toes forward and away. And then I want to bring those toes back, feeling a little stretch down the back of my lower leg. Pointing the toes forward again. Bringing those toes back. Toes forward. Toes pulled back. And rest. From this position, I'll sit slightly forward. I just want to open that right leg out to the side. A little stretch, thinking about our hip, maybe that inner thigh. Just hold for a couple of seconds. Back in, staying with that right leg, open out to the side. Back in, and once more. Swap, left leg. I want to open up that leg, hold for a couple of seconds here. Back in. Open out to the side, hold for a couple of seconds. And back in, and one more time. And back in. Okay, reset. Let's move upper body. Fold the arms. Directly in front, I want to rotate the body to the right. Feel that nice stretch through the back, holding for a couple of seconds here. And then rotate over to the left. And again, let's hold that position for a couple of seconds. Over to the right and pause. Over to the left. And let's move through each position one more time. Maybe holding for a little bit longer on this third time. Possibly finding a little bit more range this third time. And then nice and smooth over to the left. And back down. Next, what I want to do is bring my fingers together. The palms of the hands are faced forward. And I will just straighten those arms directly out in front, holding my stretch, thinking about the back of my upper body. Holding that stretch. Relax the hands in, and then straighten those arms out again, holding that nice stretch, feeling a nice connection on my upper back in this position. Return in, and we'll go one more time, straightening those arms out, holding position, and return back in. Next, I'll bring arms across my chest. I'll open up those arms nice and wide, opening out that chest, and return back in. Might take an inhale as I open up as well, and then lightly exhale as I relax the arms in. Back across chest. One more time. Holding a little bit longer this final time, and relax. Just to finish off, a nice breathing exercise, very simple. I want you to close the eyes, just connect with the breathing. Inhale through the nose, think 1-2 seconds, up to 4 seconds of an exhale. So I'll just close the eyes, relax hands down on my legs, inhale through the nose, nice slow exhale out the mouth. Inhale, think 1, 2, nice slow exhale. Inhale through nose, nice slow exhale. Let's go twice more to finish. With those eyes closed, just connecting with that breathing. Okay, that concludes our first session. Hopefully you enjoyed that. We'll progress the second session and just gradually make things a little bit harder.